Welcome to 8th grade U.S. History. I just wanted to post this this week. Some of you who come to Parent Night will hear a lot of the same information again. I just wanted to welcome everybody to 8th grade U.S. History and go through a few of the things that are maybe important to you and your child this year. So some things your child will need to bring to class every day is a spiral. Now, I don't care if it's a 3-subject spiral or a 1-subject spiral. That's up to you and your student. If it's a 1-subject spiral, it'll be something that they bring for 6 weeks and then keep at home after that. Some students would prefer to keep a 3-subject spiral so they could keep that for the whole semester. And in that spiral, they're going to glue things like or tape or staple, I don't care, their graded work. And that's a safety net for them, because there's a lot of grading to be done, and I have a lot of students, and I sometimes am only human. I might make a mistake. And so then if your child can just come to me and say, hey, Mrs. Butts, you put in the grade book the wrong grade for me, and they can show me that, I'm more than happy to change that for them. So keeping that work that has been graded in some sort of organized format, and the spiral is a great way to do that, along with their notes. It's just a really good thing for them to do. It's a safety net, and it's a great study tool when it comes time to study for tests and for semester tests and things like that. And I usually do a spiral check about once a 6 weeks. Also, your child will need to bring a red grading pen and a regular pen or pencil to class. And we do a lot of map work in U.S. history. It's a little different than Texas history. I've taught both. And they'll need those colored pencils for doing map work in class. A glue stick is handy but not necessary, because they can tape or staple things into their spiral as well. Now, I have tape and staplers in class. I don't have a lot of glue sticks, and I do not keep colored pencils for students, or pens or pencils or anything of that nature. They're in 8th grade. I expect them to bring their own supplies. So just keep that in mind. I just don't have a lot of those things on hand in my classroom. Okay, so about our curriculum. 8th grade history covers early U.S. history, the early exploration, colonization, setting up of the government through the Civil War and Reconstruction. We do not come far forward into the 20th century. Now, that's disappointing to a lot of students because they're so interested in World War I, World War II, and the events of the 20th century, and they will get all of that information in high school. But their high school teacher is going to not teach them any of this information hardly at all. They're going to maybe gloss over this the first week or two and expect them to have this foundation of knowledge going forward. So that's why this is taught this way and tested this way in 8th grade. Our textbook is online through Canvas, and students will have all the information they need to access their textbook and everything else on Canvas at the first week of school. In addition, on Canvas, I try to post what is going on in class every day. I may not have something on the calendar every single day, but that's where I communicate with you and your child, in the calendar section of Canvas. If whatever is going on during that week of school, I try to post it on there. Also, there will be some flipped lessons that we have where the student is responsible for pulling information off of Canvas and watching a video clip or reading some sort of thing that we put on there using information that is on Canvas, and coming to class the next day prepared, either with a response or with some questions, or ready to take part in a classroom activity the next day. Now, the flipped lesson is not an all or nothing approach. Some lessons will be flipped, others will not. Now, you think, well, how will we know, Mrs. Butts? I mean, we can't read your mind. Well, you don't have to read my mind. Again, I believe in communication, and I try very hard to post on Canvas an overview of what's going on for the week, and then daily, a week in advance of what we are doing in class, so that you will know, oh, look, there's a flipped lesson on Wednesday this week. Okay, so there's probably materials already posted. My child can even maybe work ahead on that, so that they can pay attention to what's going on. And this also is a good way so that if your child forgets something or your child is absent, you can keep up with what's going on at school. So if we would do a map, for instance, in class, I would hand out a map in class, and it's not due maybe till the next day, because, they have time in class to work on it. I don't assign a lot of homework, hardly at all. So usually they have class time to do things. So they might forget their map at school. They left it by accident, or they left it on the bus, or whatever happens. I mean, they're 8th grade students. Usually I will scan that map and have it posted on that day in Canvas, so that not to panic, not to worry, just go download that thing and print it off at home, and they can still do it and turn it in on time. So that is a true advantage of Canvas, and I try to use it to the best advantage that I can. And if ever I'm forgetful about posting something on Canvas, I encourage the students to send me an email and say, "Hey, Mrs. Butts, are you going to post that, or what happened here? Did you slip up?" And I'm more than happy to get reminders from the students. That helps me out. Okay, lastly and most important, there's never such a thing as too much communication from parents. I want you to feel free to contact me about anything at any time. For me, email is better, but education is like 3 legs on a stool. It's you and your child and me. And the more communication between all of us, the better. So you can give me a phone call, or you can give me an email. Phone calls have to be a way to be returned, though. So if you leave me a phone message or you shoot me an email and say, "Hey, can you give me a call?" I will certainly do that. But that is a thing I can't do during class. It will have to either wait till the end of the day, or possibly my planning period if I don't have a meeting. I will certainly return your phone call as soon as possible. But an email, if the students are working in groups, which is quite often, I can sit down and send you a quick email with an answer quickly. So I kind of almost prefer email, because it's just easier for me to get back to you with an answer as fast as possible. And sometimes I'll just answer you and say, "You know what, I don't know the answer to that question, but I will certainly find out," or "I will talk to your student as soon as I see them. I'll see them this afternoon and we'll discuss that problem." But certainly always contact me with anything and all that you think you'd like to ask about or tell me what's going on, because there's not such a thing as too much communication. Never, ever, ever think that you're talking to the teacher too much, because in my case, that's never a thing. I'm always glad to hear from you or your student over anything at all. I'm so excited for the school year to start. We teachers have been sitting in meetings for a long time now, and we did not sign up to teach to sit in meetings. We signed up to teach to have kids in our classrooms. Have a great school year.